Black Entertainment Television proudly presents a final showdown in the Southwest Airlines Capital City Classic. Today, from Mississippi Veterans Stadium in Jackson, Mississippi, it's the Braves of Alcorn State taking on the Jackson State Tigers. Hello, everybody. George Johnson along with Charles Mann. You figure for Jackson State, the important thing is to get out of this game healthy. After all, they're already headed to the first ever SWAC championship football game in December. But going in, they want to still have momentum. And most importantly, they do not want to lose to their rival, Alcorn State. And when you think about the Braves of Alcorn State, they've struggled. They've lost 4 straight coming in. How do they knock off one of the better teams in the conference?
They do it by having a balanced attack. This team has gotten too one-dimensional over the last several weeks, and that's why they've been losing ball games. And they get healthy today by getting Rodney Thomas into the game. He's only averaging 68.8 yards rushing per game. You got to get him over 100 yards if they want to be successful.
When you talk about running games, Jackson State has seen some great running backs, most notably the late, great Walter Payton. And yet, Destry Wright today is looking to break a whole bunch of records in school history.
Oh, my goodness. Yes, he is. He's looking to break his own record of last year with 108 yards rushing. But more importantly, he wants to get 158 yards rushing. That will make him Jackson State's all-time leading rusher in their history. And he does it today because last year against Alcorn, he was able to rush for 187 yards.
Talking about last year, the Braves looked up at the scoreboard with 11 minutes left in the first quarter and saw themselves down already 21-0. They're looking for a better showing in this one. So low, you have the freedom to go places. And by Circuit City, answers in every department, low prices all over the store. And by Western Union, money transfer, fastest way to send money worldwide. In Mississippi, where these two teams, Alcorn State, will receive the kickoff, coming in 3-6, 1-2 in conference play. 8-2 the record for Jackson State. Back deep to receive the kick is Clifford Perry, the freshman from Chicago, number 80, averaging 16 yards per return. There's Dr. Johnny Davis, the head coach of Alcorn State. Low kick, bounces, Perry takes it at the 10. Looking for some room to get up the middle. They close in on him very quickly, and yet he gets out near the 27-yard line. So that's where Alcorn State will begin their first offensive series. We go to commercial break. When we come back, it'll be Alcorn State, Jackson State. Hey. Behind this young man right here, Damian Ford, set to start their first offensive series. Here's Johnny Davis, their head coach, in his second year. Alcorn State lost 4 straight coming into this one. Their last ball game, they lost to Alabama A&M, 35-26. And immediately they stay on the ground and go to Albert Jones. And Jones, who actually on the depth chart is listed behind Rodney Thomas, picks up a couple of yards on first down. We take a look at the starting lineups. Damian Ford is your quarterback. Nicky Davis, Rodney Thomas, Marco Walder, big-time receiver. He's looking to continue his streak, 20 straight games where he's caught a pass. This offensive line, very talented. Chad Slaughter is a multi-dimensional athlete who also plays on the basketball team. 2nd down and 7 for Ford, who again gives it to his tailback. This time he's met by a whole host of Jackson State players. Leading the charge, Tommy Head, number 31. Take a look at this defense. The sack masters, Eric Chandler and Andre Reed on this club. They have helped this team get 48 sacks on the season. The linebackers are solid. Tommy Head, 4 weeks he has been the player of the week in the SWAC, and Rashard Anderson is a true NFL prospect. The starting lineups were brought to you by Western Union Money Transfer, the fastest way to send money worldwide. 3rd down and 7. Lone setback behind Ford, who will go back to pass. They love to do this. They tried to set it up over the middle and almost intercepted. That ball got loose, and Brian Darden almost had a chance at it.
You know, it's interesting that we see in that first series The Braves tried to run the football. 2 running plays, but neither one of them amounted to much. They got a couple of yards, and then they were in obvious passing situation on 3rd down.
You saw that series. Jackson State has controlled things. In fact, they were rolling. And then a young man by the name of Steve Eric McNair came to Alcorn State, and they won 4 straight behind him at quarterback. Short punt takes a Jackson State bounce and will fall shy of midfield by a couple of yards. But that's where Jackson State takes over. 1st and 10 with 13:22 left here in the first quarter. A 23-yard punt. Alcorn State now have to stop this very potent Jackson State offense, averaging 36 points per game coming in behind Mark Washington, their senior quarterback. And immediately he goes out to the flat to Daniel Guy, and Daniel Guy is going to be close to a 1st down. We took a look at the Jackson State Tigers starting offensive unit. Brought to you by Western Union, where Mark Washington, the senior from San Antonio, is your quarterback. Destin Wright, Damian Duckworth, and Sylvester Morris, unbelievable wide receiver. The offensive line has Jason Entminger, and he is your junior, the transfer from Colorado. They did get a 1st down on that one. Ball is marked at the 43-yard line. 1st and 10 for Tigers. And they give it to Destin Wright, and looking right, already picking up substantial acreage with that carry, and he gets inside the 30-yard line. Look at Alcorn State's defense. The defense that is yielding 345 yards per game. Guy Gordon, Cleveland Carr, Julius Gardner, and Todd McDaniel are your defensive linemen. Howard Clark is your leading tackler. He's from Fayette, Mississippi. Defensive back, Malcolm Reed, Kenny Washington. Washington you'll see also at cornerback. Starting lineups brought to you by Western Union Money Transfer, the fastest way to send money worldwide. On 1st down, they give it inside again to Wright. Wright picks up about 3 yards on the carry.
You know, a lot of people coming into this game would think that Jackson State would not be too interested in winning this football game. They wouldn't put a lot into this, but already in this first series, we see them moving the ball down the field with no huddle. They're coming right up to the line of scrimmage and getting after it. Destin Wright going after that 158 yards that he needs to be the all-time leading rusher in Jackson State history. Has a lot of determination.
Averages 142 yards per game. And here he is, continuing to build on those yards he's already picked up as he gets close to yet another 1st down. Clifford Thomas came up and made the tackle, the linebacker.
Look at this replay here. It's wide open on the end there. Great call by the coaching staff, seeing that opening on that side of the field.
3rd down and 1. 2 receivers split to the right of Mr. Washington. Sylvester Morris is your lone receiver to the left. They give it inside to Wright. Wright avoids 1 tackler. Can't avoid too many after that, but still Lewis Green brings him down, not till he gets a 1st down.
Yeah, he's always going to fall forward. He was hit at the line of scrimmage, and then he carries the would-be tackler a couple of yards. That's what the great backs do. Every time they come through the line of scrimmage right here, they're looking, get that lean, punishing you, and making the play 3 or 4 yards down the field.
Braves' 3rd leading tackler makes the stop. Here's Washington. Has time, but not much. And the Braves converge in on him, leading the way.
Julius Gardner.
Big Julius Gardner.
Big boy. 6'3", 280 pounds. Had a little help.
Last week, he had 9 tackles in the loss to Alabama A&M. We're talking about Gardner. But with that loss right there, it makes it now 2nd down. Let's say 16 yards for a 1st down. I formation now behind Washington. Pitch to the deep back right. He had a little daylight for a second there.
I think he had that daylight if he would have turned it upfield a little bit. He kind of angled to the outside. There was a little hole as we see the replay. There was a little hole right there by 62, the center. If he would have followed him, he elected to float and drift outside a little bit, and then Alcorn's defense could catch him with the
angles.
Malcolm Reed came up and made the tackle, but not before Wright picks up about 6 yards on the carry. So now it's 3rd down and long. 10:03 left here in our first quarter, and the Tigers are already threatening. We'll be back with more after this. George Johnson along with Charles Mann. First quarter action here at the Southwest Airlines Capital City Classic.
Fans enjoying this one. A beautiful day. A little cool, but it's at least in the 60s.
3rd down and 12, and the whistles blow before they can really get the play underway. They said that there might be rain in the forecast today. I looked at some clouds off in the distance, but it is really pretty here. Nice weather for football, light breeze. What'd you like? So they moved the offense back. Do you like it real hot? Did you like it cool?
I liked it cool, just like this. It's good football weather. Good football weather.
So that'll make it now 3rd down. And let's say 17. They've got to get back to the 3. They've got to get down to the 3-yard line. They're marked at the 20 right now.
This is an obvious passing situation at 4 wides.
3 receivers over the middle. No, incomplete. Pass was intended for Morris. Good defense.
Xavier Denson made a great play. It did look like it went into the hands, yeah, in and out of the arms of Randy Parman, but he never got the ball.
And a great throw. Great throw.
Nice setup, nice throw right there, a little slant, and good timing, staying with the receiver by Mr. Denson.
Terrence Primiel was there defensively, so now Kenny Page will come onto the field and attempt a 37-yard field goal, which is off to the left, no good. So with the missed field goal, the Braves take possession of the football. 1st and 10 going the other way.
You know that Jackson State had a penalty that pushed them back a little bit and made that 3rd down hard to convert. They've had 100 penalties until that one. That made 101 on the season. That's 10 a game. They're not playing very smart football in that situation.
So now it's 1st and 10 for the Braves. Rushing for 110 yards per game, and they try to run here, again giving it to Albert Jones, and Jones has to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage.
Jones is 6 feet 220. He looks a lot bigger to me, and they're trying to run a Statue of Liberty kind of a play. You know, that's more kind of elusive. Big guy like that, I don't know how he can be elusive. That's like trying to get me to sneak up on somebody.
That's not going to happen. Jones doesn't get to the line of scrimmage. In fact, loses a yard. 2nd down and 11. Jalone setback behind Ford. He goes over the middle. He actually almost went through 2 receivers' hands. Incomplete.
Damian Ford and Marcus Taylor, the 2 quarterbacks, they split duties. Damian has pretty good feel for the pocket. He's a pocket quarterback, but the last 2 throws he's thrown in this game, he's thrown them high. And that happens a lot of times when you're just getting warmed up. You get into the flow of the game.
Also happens when you know both defensive ends have 11 sacks apiece, and your objective is to get rid of that football as soon as you can. 3rd down and 11. Here's Ford again. Here comes the pressure. And he's brought down.
Tommy Head.
Tommy Head comes up with the sack.
What doesn't he do?
That's 6 sacks on the season for the 6'1" junior.
He is amazing. This guy, he leads the team in tackles. He's had 19 tackles for losses. And like you said, he has 6 sacks now, 3 fumble recoveries. He can do it all for this team and has all season long.
Clock continues to roll with 8:35 and counting. 4th down, 17. And not a good punt whatsoever. Quentin Raston is the punter, and he's only doing it because he has to. He is actually a fullback.
My goodness. Oh,
and he kicks like a fullback. That punt didn't go far. We'll get the accurate yards in a second. It'll be 1st and 10 Jackson State, and they're still threatening. Twice. Time's running out, so make sure you send in your entries for the Southwest Airlines Black College Football Contest. Send it to 180 North Stetson Court, Suite 4350, Chicago, Illinois 60601. So it's 1st and 10 for Jackson State as they give it to the deep back, and this time the Braves are up to the task defensively as they make the stop on Destry Wright.
And here's Destry Wright in the backfield. Never really gets a chance to get going. The Braves defense were stunning on that play. They were bringing extra people.
And Guy Gordon, he got it going for him defensively on that play, and everybody else joined in. 2nd down and 11. Wright loses the yard. Over the middle, pass is complete. Morris on his feet. Touchdown! Jackson State. Well, that was too easy.
Well, what happened on that play is Alcorn sent a linebacker, middle linebacker up the middle. When you send an extra man, that means there's going to be man coverage, and there was man coverage, and Sylvester Morris just made. In fact, I didn't see anybody covering him, actually. It was supposed to be man coverage, and he broke a hand tackle and quick 6.
That's his 11th touchdown reception on the season. With that, Jackson State takes the lead, and Brian Reynolds looking to make it 7-0. Page will hold. Kick is up, and the officials say no good. So 7:38 left here in the first quarter. After an 8-yard punt, Jackson State gets good field position and immediately goes to their big play receiver to take the lead. Charles Mann and Jackson State didn't take them long to score that touchdown as they go to Sylvester Morris for the quick score.
And here's wide open. It looked like they were actually in zone, so that might have been a zone blitz that we saw instead of linebackers coming up the middle, and you make it a man coverage on the outside. That was a zone blitz, and somebody wasn't in their zone. Sylvester Morris gets an easy 6.
25-yard touchdown play by Sylvester Morris, and as I said, it was too easy. Took just 2 plays. But Alcorn has a problem because they don't have a punter. If Quentin Raskin is going to be kicking the football like that, nothing against Quentin, but at 5'3", and they say 280 pounds, he got to get a little bit more behind that kick.
Punt went, what, 10 yards?
Clifford Perry will down the ball in the end zone. They say 8. I was going to make that the trivia question today. How long did that punt go? Okay. We had 6 from you.
Coach Dr. Johnny Thomas scratching his head a little bit, wondering what is he going to have to do to get this team a little bit more proficient on offense.
But he understands about the situation. He's got a very young football team.
Right. A lot of freshmen on this team.
And he knows they're rebuilding here, and yet a win here would really take them into the offseason on a high note, knocking off a good team like this. 1st and 10. Boy, if they don't get any better production from that running game, then you talked about it early on. They're going to have problems. Jason Marshall with the tackle right there. And there's your youth serve. 53% of the active roster are underclassmen. 13 sophomores, 39 freshmen.
That's the reason why right there. But you know, you talked about Coach Thomas talked to you earlier in the week about he really had to kind of gut the team out, if you will, and get people that would fall into his program and believe in his program so that he can start turning this club around.
-5 yards on that carry. 2nd down and 15. Ford throwing. There was a flag thrown, but the pass is too high for his intended receiver.
His 3rd pass that goes high. What's going to happen is pretty soon folks aren't going to reach up because they're going to take shots when they're reaching, extending their bodies like this. Now, it looked, everything mechanics-wise looked fine. I think, Mr. Ford there is pulling the trigger a little early, getting a little anxious, and that can't happen, like you said, with 48 sacks on the Jackson State defense coming at you. Make it 49 now with Tommy Head's sack earlier in the last series.
Marcus Holbert was the intended receiver on that play. There's Damian Ford, who has completed 51% of his passes this year.
Right.
13 for touchdowns, 6 interceptions. In last year's game, he was 22 of 34 for 328 yards and threw 4 touchdowns.
Right. And they like him, but they also have Marcus Taylor sitting on the bench that will probably see action today as well. And he's more of the athlete. He's more of the playmaker. He scrambles around. He can do a lot of different things. He's 6'3", 225, and he's thrown for 15 touchdowns with a 49% completion rate. So he's pretty good, too.
And there's your Southwest Airlines plane, as they are the sponsors of this Southwest Airlines 6th Annual Capital City Classic. 6:45 left here in our first quarter. Ball's been moved back now inside the 8. Illegal procedure called against the Braves. So they are deep in the hole right now. They've got their hands full as they try to get the ball out to the 30-yard line. They're at the 8.
This is where you have to have a running game. This is where you have to be able to run the football. They're opting to throw a middle screen. And see some daylight there.
Chris McGee with the catch. Chris McGee gets out to about the 25-yard line. 5 yards short of a first down. Not a bad second down call.
Chris McGee is a load. That is a load coming at you right there. He knew he couldn't outrun anybody. He ran towards the sideline here. And this was a good play by Damian Ford right here, the quarterback, sucking everybody in so he could set up this middle screen. And then nice running after the catch. Love to have him a little bit more speed. But that was pretty nice.
McGee picks up 17 yards. He averages 16 yards per reception.
That's not bad.
3rd down and 5. Well, that's who I go to when I'm deep in my hole. I'm looking for Big Crit. 3rd down and 5 over the middle. Ooh, and a fine defensive play right there for Brian Darden, who may have stopped the receiver short of the first down.
I like the defensive play on the quarterback. That's what I like. Jason Marshall and Monty Gatlin put a lick on Damian Ford.
Marco Walder with the reception. Leading receiver on this ball club, coming in with 48 catches.
20 consecutive games with a catch.
And the penalty is against the Braves. They are averaging 57 yards a game in penalties. And I know that's your big, that's a stickler. Every time you and I talk, that's the first thing you start bringing up is penalty statistics. You do not like that.
If I was like out of my mind and decided to coach, be a head coach.
Against the offense, 15-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Like I said, if I was out of my mind and decided to be a head coach somewhere, or somebody would let me be a head coach, I would stress so much the discipline side. And here we see Coach Hughes in his interim season at 8-2. Not too bad. I would hope that he would get the job after the season the way he's performed here at Jackson State.
And if he doesn't, that just goes to show you how crazy that business is of coaching.
No, I think he's got 25 years invested at Jackson State. I think they're going to give him the job. And they wouldn't be giving it to him. He's earned it.
Absolutely. So 4th down situation.
Uh-oh. We got a punt again.
He's going to try it again. He drops it.
A little bit better. Destry Wright back there to receive it.
Takes a good roll. And Wright will get out to about the 45-yard line. Jackson State will take over once again in good field position inside Braves territory.
Destry's had 10 punt returns. He's averaging 10.7 yards per return, and he's had a 37-yarder for his longest. Not bad for a halfback / punt returner.
Great hands. 46-yard line, 1st and 10. Great job by Washington to look over the field. And did we have a turnover?
No, that ball was good.
Leroy Fields made the catch.
He's smart though. He's been coached up well. You keep running with that. You let the refs make the play or the call on the field. You go ahead and run that thing in. But he was down by contact.
Leroy Fields made the catch, dropped the football, and picking it up was Malcolm Reed, but Malcolm's got to come back. But maybe by just touching pay dirt, you can bring that magic back to the huddle with you.
Yeah, what you bring back to the huddle with you is a lack of oxygen. That's what you bring back. Goodwill, if I'm going to run that far, I'm going to be lifting my hand, see if I can get out a play or two to relax. Mark Washington, the quarterback for Jackson State, had all day to look over the field.
Fields' 5-yard gain on the reception. 2nd down and 5. They have an offside right with the carry, and he gets close to another 1st down for the Tigers.
Wow, looking in that big mass of humanity there, and Destry Wright is getting bent backwards, and I'd be a little scary if I was Coach Hughes, worried about getting some of my key players injured, before the SWAC championship.
Thomas Gordon in on the stop. He's short of a 1st down. 3rd down and 1. Right is your lone setback. Right with the carry, looking to get outside, and a good play there by Lewis Green, who's done a nice job early on.
Bad decision.
Things on that side.
Bad decision by Wright there. It looked like he had the 1st down. He's looking for a bigger play. You know what he's got on his mind is he's trying to get that 158 yards. Right there, he's got the 1st down. All he has to do is keep running. And you can't run east and west. He knows better. I believe what he has on his mind is trying to get that 158 yards. And right now, he's at about 35 yards. So he's got a little work left.
Guy Gordon and Lewis Green doing a pretty good job on that side of the defensive front.
This is 4th down.
4th down. Nice. Looking for pay dirt and picks up a 1st down with the carry.
Good call.
Green again came up and made the tackle.
Very good call right here. And Mark Washington does a good job of holding on to the ball as long as he could before he pitched it to Destry. And Lewis Green hunting him down. Nice angle right here. You can see the opening that he sees. Once again, he falls forward, gets an extra couple of 2 or 3 yards.
15-yard pickup for Destry Wright. 1st and 10. This time they dump it off to the fullback, Damian Duckworth. And since he doesn't get a lot of action, it's easy to kind of lose this guy, and he picks up good yards with that screenplay.
He's got good size and good hands. 6 feet, 205 junior. He's been in the end zone a couple of times.
That's his 2nd reception of the season, and a big one as it gets him yet another 1st down, a gain of 13. So the ball's down at the 13. 1st and 10. They can still get a 1st down before scoring. Just shy of 3.5 minutes left here in the 1st as they this time give it inside to Ducksworth.
I don't know about that. They tried to spread the defense with 4 wides and just run it a quick shot up the middle, and that was not going to happen. Sebastian Moore, was saying, not here.
Ducksworth averaging almost 5 yards a carry. But now they go back to the single setback, 3 receivers split to the right of Washington. Morris is to the left. They run that option this time to the other side. Wright gets a 1st down. Wright gets a touchdown.
There's a flag on the play. What a great call, though. And I think it's going to come back, but what a great call by Jackson State. What they did is they ran 3 wides on one side and 1 on the other. And they call the holding on him. Great concept, great setup. This is what you call scheming for the team. Nice pitch. What happens is, reason why there's no help on that side, the corner is being run off by the wide receiver. Here we see another look right here. You don't see any defenders until Destry Wright gets near the end zone. That's because the cornerback was run off into the end zone.
Pedestri Wright on 9 carries so far has 50 yards. So he's well on his way to becoming the all-time leading rusher.
He needs 108. He needs 108.
108 to break his record. And yet he is throwing 108. And he
needs 108 to break both of them now.
Absolutely. This time they give it inside to Wright. Wright spins around.
He's punishing, too. He's better running north and south, straight up the gut. Nothing fancy, because he's a big guy now. 225 pounds, 5'10". This is where he's punishing. Julius Gardner had to wrap up and then went for a little bit of a ride as Destry falls forward again.
And no one likes to take an unscheduled ride.
Yeah. 56 yards
He got him back to the original line of scrimmage. So when we come back from this commercial break, it'll be 3rd down and 10 for Jackson State, already leading 6-0. Here at Mississippi Veterans Memorial Stadium. And at this moment, I implore you once again to check the list twice. Time's running out. Want to make sure that you send in your entries for the Southwest Airlines Black College Football Contest. Send them to 180 North Stetson Court, Suite 4350, Chicago, Illinois 60601.
What do you win?
Coming to the game with me, with you and I.
Oh, okay. They actually get to ride with us? They get to ride in the car with us and everything?
Well, now, you better talk to Terrell about that.
We got to get rid of that Yugo you've been trying to drive me.
Yeah, you're right. Touchdown, Jackson State. You see, they get attacked so quickly, you and I can be off into something else. And Sylvester Moore speaks behind everybody. He says, hey, give me another 6, and he gets it.
Mark Washington threw a great pass there. Threw it to the outside, the only place it should be. Watch this play right here. Sets up, no interference, no big rush, throws it. Oh, my goodness. You don't draw it up any better than that. Sylvester Morris with his 12th touchdown on the season.
Second of the ball game for him. And so now the Tigers will go for 2 to make up for that missed field goal after the first touchdown. Washington, Morris, nothing doing. Coming up to make the hit, Malcolm Reed.
Very nice tackle. Very nice tackle. And that's almost, that play right there was almost a pick. And this is the replay of the touchdown again. Mark Washington, look how all day he has to throw that football. Nice pass. And Morris has the nearest defender beat by at least 15 yards. That was Carter covering. Carter watching.
13-yard touchdown reception for Sylvester Morris. And I'll tell you what, he came into this ball game 5 touchdown receptions shy of catching Willie Richardson's record for career touchdown receptions, as you see the miss on the 2-point conversion.
Sorry about that. What happened on that 2-point conversion was there was a pick. They sent 2 receivers one way to try to trip up the defenders, and that's borderline. A lot of times you can get a penalty called on that, but they did a nice job of getting Sylvester Morris out in the flat, but then it was a great tackle on the play to keep him out of the end zone by Malcolm Reed.
So for Sylvester Morris, that's 33 career touchdown receptions while he's been here at Jackson State. Willie Richardson, he had 36. I mean, you talk about these guys, I mean, Morris and Wright. There's just so much going on record-wise with these.
They'll be playing a lot of football for a while, too. They're going to Hula Bowls and Blue-Gray games and, you know.
And Clifford Perry's kickoff return. Didn't get much on that one.
That was an 8-play scoring drive, 46 yards, 4 minutes and 18 seconds. And we're still in the first quarter.
Well, remember, it was 11 minutes left in the first quarter, and the last time these 2 teams met, Jackson State was leading 21-0. The Braves are actually going to have to do what you said they don't want to do, which is throw the football. And they say that's why they throw the ball a lot, because they find themselves sometimes in holes, like this one. 13-0. Actually 12-0. Check that. First and 10, ball at the 15-yard line. I formation behind Ford. They get to Thomas. Thomas dances for a couple of yards. Coming up to make the stop, Edwin Reese.
That was a good play by the right guard, Lamar Tate, on Tommy Head. Blocking him, just destroyed Tommy Head, took him out. But Tommy Head has a lot of friends
Yeah, he does.
on that defense. And if he can't make the play, which he normally does, he's got some boys on the inside that covering.
Second down and 9. Ford back to pass. Here comes the pressure. This time he gets good protection, though. Little room. Finally run out of bounds by Monson Gatlin.
A lot of times when you get a lot of pressure, like Jackson State is putting on Alcorn, what you do is you roll your quarterback out, especially if he's pretty athletic, like, well, actually, Damian Ford is more of a drop-back quarterback, and Marcus Taylor is more the athletic one. But, you know, you want to roll them out and buy them a little time so they can see down the field to their second and third receivers.
5-yard pickup for Ford. Third down and 4. Lone setback is Thomas. Ford back to pass over the middle, almost intercepted. And I'll tell you what, Brian Gardner's had a couple of gifts come his way. He's unable to capitalize on them.
Damian Ford is just not very comfortable in there at the quarterback position right now. He just seems like he's rushing everything. See, he actually threw that on dropping back. He didn't stop, set up. That's a 3-step drop. Then you want to get your momentum going forward. He was still dropping back when he was releasing it. Looked like kind of like Brett Favre does. I don't understand how Brett Favre's mechanics, but he's able to do, hey, got a good punt off there.
Yes, Raston with a nice little punt as Dusty Wright lets it get past him. And for the first time all ball game, Jackson State will start the football in their territory.
There's a
second
couple
time
of flags
actually
down, though. I don't know what the case is here. It normally goes against the receiving team when you see flags that deep. And the referees will kind of try to figure this one out.
Raston's punt went all the way back to the 24-yard line.
Referee's getting a workout in this one. All right, we have double penalties. I was going to say they're offsetting. They're not offsetting.
That was actually a 55-yard punt for Raston, which is a marked improvement over that 8-yard punt we saw earlier in the ball game. But they're going to bring this thing back. And they were pointing Jackson State's way on both penalties, so that'll probably set up first down now for Alcorn State. So they get new life. As you look at Robert Hughes, the head coach.
Well, you don't think he'll get the nod for coach next year? Take that interim off of his name?
Like you said, he deserves it.
Multiple fouls against the defense. Illegal participation, 12 men on the field. Illegal block in the back.
And with the multiple penalties, it'll be first and 10. Ball's at the 36-yard line for Alcorn State. We talked about the fact that this club ends up having to throw the football a whole lot. They're averaging 110 yards per game on the ground, but 255 in the air.
Yeah, that's lopsided. You got to have more of a balanced attack.
First and 10. Ford back to pass. Had a wide open receiver and finds him.
Finally. This might turn it around for him. He finally saw a receiver and got to the receiver. Let's see his mechanics there. Very nice.
Wright is your wide open receiver.
Yeah, very nice. 13-yard catch.
Takes the ball out to midfield. First and 10.
Much better mechanics. I'd like to see a little bit more spiral on that, but much better mechanics for Damian Ford there.
25th reception of the season for Yancey. He's the third leading receiver on this club. 2 receivers split to either side of 4. Back to pass. Lobbing it downfield. Oh, my, what a catch!
And that will be a catch because he was pushed out by the defender, and that's the kind of spiral you have to have when you're threading the ball in like that. Great play by Damian Ford, and he put it the only place where Gilmore could catch it, and the defender couldn't do anything with it.
Ronald Gilmore, 32-yard reception, averaging 18 yards every time he catches the football. Great field position now for the Braves. They're knocking at the door. They're at the 18-yard line. So maybe Mr. Ford needs to go back in that pocket and throw it.
Yeah.
That's how they're picking up a lot of yards in this game so far. And he's going to do it again. Pressure. Eludes the pressure. Slips down at about the 14-yard line.
Better hold on to that football when he starts running.
4-yard pickup. But he did a good job of finding some spots to elude the rush and pick up some positive yards.
Here he goes right here. See how he's handling the football, though? Go ahead and tuck that football away when you realize you're going to run the ball.
Yeah, when you get big Edward Reese coming your way, you should drop it. That's actually...
You got to hold on that football. Nifty footwork there, though.
And now the Jackson State crowd comes to life as we come to the end of the first quarter. Alcorn State in great field position. Ball is at the 14-yard line. We'll see if they can capitalize right after this.
Hey, Tom. Good morning. Welcome aboard.
Thank you very much.
Good morning, Tom.
Good morning.
Who are the hardest working people in the air?
Yeah.
Ask the hardest working man on the air.
This is the Flight Doc, Tom Joyner. It's all about love.
Southwest Airlines, working hard to keep theirs low.
They're the kind of folks who take pride in taking care of their car, who'd rather take the time and save the money by doing the job themselves. In other words, they're the kind of people who turn to AutoZone every week. And while they come to us for the quality parts or the everyday low price, sometimes they come just for the advice. And that's okay, because at AutoZone, giving people what they need is what we're all about.
What's happened to the nightlife as we know it? New Sprint Nickel Nights, that's what. Now calling card calls are just 5 cents a minute too, all night long. 5 cents a minute at home and on the road. Wherever you are, you're free to talk the night away. And isn't that the point of contact? Move to Sprint Nickel Nights. Call 1-800-PIN-DROP.
Introducing Colgate Total Fresh Stripe Toothpaste. A fresh minty gel that keeps working long after you've finished brushing. Fighting bad breath while you're out and about. Fighting cavities and tartar when you're center stage. It even fights plaque and gingivitis. For protection all day or all night. Colgate Total Fresh Stripe Toothpaste. The brushing that works between brushings.
This portion of today's game is brought to you by McDonald's, the irresistible taste that makes you say, did somebody say McDonald's?
Wasn't me.
It wasn't you? Let's take a look now at our nationwide first quarter stats. Let's take a look at them. There they are. First down, Jackson State in control. Pretty even passing-wise. That big play to Ronald Gilmore got him back in terms of passing yards.
And there's the difference in the rushing yards, and that's why Alcorn is always having trouble because they don't run the football. You get too one-dimensional.
Today's quarterly stats been brought to you by Nationwide Insurance and Financial Services on your side. So we start the second quarter with Jackson State having a 12-0 lead, and yet Alcorn State is knocking at the door as they're inside the 15-yard line. Second down. 4. That screen over the middle, and this time nothing doing. Great defensive play by the linebacker in the middle, Edward Reese.
Well, he just basically he stayed at home. He's a middle linebacker. He was in the middle. It was a middle screen. Hey, why shouldn't he make the play?
So no celebration. You just did your job.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line.
Look at that big old man right there. He got on him early before he got a head of steam going because he'd had a tough time tackling him.
So you're telling me that you don't think that Chris McGee's 215 pounds? That's what they have listed.
Yeah, no. Maybe before training camp started.
3rd and 5.
They're feeding him 3 square.
Ford over the middle. Ford's pass is incomplete. It was intended for Yancey Wright.
Tommy Head can cover too. This weak side linebacker can do it all. 6'1", 210 junior. Tommy Head, that is.
Number 31 he's talking about, folks. Andre Reed with a little bump right there.
I used to do that all the time. Just let him know you got there. You know, I was a little late, but I was there.
But number 31, Tommy Head, I mean, he is outstanding. 4 times this year he's been named the SWAC Defensive Player of the Week. So this is a 30-yard attempt at the field goal. Blocked. Kick is blocked inside as they continue to struggle, and Johnny Thomas's club unable to put any points on the board whatsoever. That field goal was blocked, attempt by Richard Gilliam, and the score remains the same, 12-0.
Coming up on Lead Story.
Black College Football Classics here on BET. George Johnson along with Charles Mann. 1st and 10 for Jackson State. They go inside to Destiny Wright.
And I'm glad he decided to turn it upfield instead of trying to get to the outside like he did earlier. Stay positive, always getting positive yards, running north and south.
Takes the ball out to about the 21-yard line. 2nd down. I formation behind Washington. The deep back is right. This time he reverses fields, and Julius Gardner says, and come back here.
I'll tell you what, I'm impressed. Big old Julius Gardner is playing. He's a ball player. I like it too. You know, he doesn't wear very much tape. You know, back in the early days, they had elbow pads and all kinds of stuff all over him. He just, you know, his shirt is hanging out. He's a little sloppy looking. Got his little boxing glove wrap on his hands. He's making some plays.
He now on the season came into the game with 6 tackles for losses. Unofficially, I've seen him have 2 already in this ball game.
Absolutely.
3rd down and long for Jackson State. This time they go the other way to Morris. Look at Morris find some room and get out to 1st down territory. Malcolm Reed comes up and makes the tackle.
That's called a wide receiver screen, if you will. And you're supposed to, on a screen, you're supposed to let your blocker go. Well, you don't let him get a free run on the quarterback. That almost got nullified right there because of the great pressure. But look at Morris run after the catch. That's what quality they look for in the NFL. A receiver can run after the catch.
He got out to the 34-yard line, and on 1st down, they give it to Wright again.
You know, Jackson State's best play, running play so far in this game has been the option. And running the option to the weak side of the field, or even the short side of the field.
Well, the one time it got him a 1st down, and the 2nd time it got him a
into the end zone, but it got called back on holding.
With the penalty. I formation now behind Washington, as you saw Sylvester Morris. And quite frankly, folks, we feel pretty confident he's on his way to the next level. This time they fake the pitch and give it inside to Ducksworth. Well, as we said, Destiny Wright came in needing 158 yards to become the all-time leading rusher, and he really has done a good job, as you pointed out.
Yeah, he's got 58 of that 158 he needs, so he needs 100. He's got 2.5 quarters to do it in. He's a man with a purpose in this game.
But like you said, sometimes that'll hurt you because when you're thinking of getting outside all the time, the best job is to go inside. Oh, this time they go in the air.
Oh, what
Daniel Dodge, still on his feet. See you later. Touchdown, Daniel Dodge. Daniel Guy got loose across the middle, made the catch, and was gone 61 yards for a touchdown. His 5th receiving touchdown of the season.
Boy, that looked good. That looked real good. This is what you can see from the end zone angle. You can see exactly what Mark Washington saw. And now look at Daniel Guy.
How about
taking care of business.
How about Leroy Fields, number 84, blocking
Make it
downfield?
a nice. Hey, you got to block for your buddy.
Got to block for him.
Yeah, I mean that's important.
Sometimes that goes unnoticed, the blocking that the wide receivers must do downfield after the catch is made.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And they're going for the 2-point conversion.
3 receivers split to the left. In motion, Leroy Fields. 1,001, 1,007. And this one's overthrown. Mark Washington had all kinds of time back there, unable to complete on the 2-point conversion. So the score remains 18-0.
You said last year they were down 21-0, huh?
Again, that was
Alcorn.
early on in that first quarter, though.
Okay, all right. Well, the key for Alcorn is to not panic. You can't panic. You're not out of this thing. 3 touchdowns and you're back. Look at this. First of all, that was a great grab by Daniel Guy. And then there's the blocking that you were talking about of Leroy Fields.
I mean, two guys on that play.
He got double blocks. He hit one to break Daniel Guy at first. Then he turned around and got the guy behind him just in case he could have caught up. Yeah, that's a nice effort. And I don't know if Daniel Guy will know that till he sees the film on Monday.
Leroy Fields, the senior from West Monroe, who they say is really starting to come in his own, making blocks downfield, and Guy capitalizing. 61-yard touchdown for Daniel Guy. But they have yet to convert on the extra point in this ball game.
Yeah, that's scary.
It's 18-0.
That's scary, too. Got to be able to kick the football.
This kick looks like it's going to roll out of bounds at the 3-yard line, so that'll be a penalty to the kicking team. They'll take it 1st and 10. Ball will be out there at the 35-yard line. As you look at our scoring drive, 6 plays, 82 yards, 61 of them going to Daniel Guy.
2 minutes and 58 seconds. They're scoring too fast. They better slow it down some.
Well, they have the ability to score in bunches. 36 points per game they're averaging coming into this one.
36 points.
Free kick out of bounds. The ball will be placed on the 35-yard line of the receiving team. First down.
Watching
trivia
another
question.
Southwest Airlines Black College Football Classic here on BET. Now I'm ready for your trivia question.
Last time Alcorn, State gave up a 300-yard passing game was when?
It was
what year?
against Jackson
Just give me the
State.
year.
Oh, you knew you were going to go to the year. I had Jackson State already in the brain. First down, and they go to the wide receiver, Clifford Perry, and Perry makes the catch for first down yard.
Okay, he's stalling, folks.
I really am. As I look through my notes, papers all over the place, down on the floor.
November 19th, as we look at the replay here. You think about it, I'll look at the replay. Now that ball, he put it right where the receiver needed to be. Clifford Perry blocked or shielded out the defender, so he'd be the only one to be able to catch the ball unless it got a little high.
19-yard pickup, first down. Ball is at the 47, just inside there. Forward again. Sense of urgency as he throws the ball and gets it downfield for yet another first down. Clifford Perry makes the catch.
Same play, different coverage, different defensive coverage, but the same exact play. And this is just a little down and out. Right in the zone, right in between the defenders. Nice play.
Takiza Johnson was the man back there, unable to make the play. 14-yard pickup on that one. So Perry's come out and made 2 straight catches. And in the process, picked up 33 yards of receiving.
And just a kid. The last time Alcorn State gave up a 300-yard passing game was November 19th, 1994, in a 52-34 victory over Jackson State.
I knew that. First and 10.
And in that one, they gave up 328 yards.
I knew that.
Now let's do our addition real quick and see how many yards they've given up passing already today.
Well, now we got a computer to make that easy.
Well, that's what I'm getting ready to call our computer expert to task.
False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty.
Another penalty, though. Charge to the Braves. They're here at Veterans Memorial Stadium here in Jackson, Mississippi.
Now, my wife was born here.
Was she?
Jackson, Mississippi. Yeah. She grew up about 40 miles from here in Vicksburg, Mississippi. I say hello to all the Banks family in Vicksburg. I hear they got casinos there now. What you doing after the game?
I'm going with you. The Vicksburg. 5-yard loss. 1st and 15. Ford had a little bit of time looking for his receiver. And that one was overthrown, intended for Ronald Gilmore.
It was what? It was overthrown.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So that's 5 overthrown today.
You're counting. That's a new stat you put together.
Well, you know, it was an obvious thing. So, and Damian Ford, quarterback for Alcorn, will look at this and say, what did I do? Why was I so jittery? You know, I threw some nice passes, done some good things.
2nd down and 15. Last year he was the SWAC's Newcomer of the Year, Damian Ford. This year, he fumbles.
And guess who got it? Just take a guess. Don't even look at the team.
Okay, head of the class.
Head, yes.
Head jumps on the loose ball.
He is everywhere, and he likes that. He got excited about that.
Just a junior. Leading tackler, 5 sacks.
4 fumble recoveries.
He's the man. And his team has possession of the football. Veterans Memorial Stadium here in Jackson, Mississippi. 3rd down situation for the Tigers. Over the middle, and boy, Washington gunned that one to his receiver, Morris, for another 1st down.
Alcorn has got to play a little bit better defense. I would go to more of a man defense. They're playing the soft zone here, and Morris and company are eating them up sitting down. See, he stops running and sits right down in the open part of the zone, and they're killing him doing that.
And with that catch right there, Sylvester Morris becomes the all-time leading receiver in Jackson State history as he breaks Willie Richardson's record of 171 career receptions. That now is 172 for Sylvester Morris.
And that's receptions.
Receptions.
Yeah, receptions.
He's still 3 touchdowns shy of becoming the all-time leader in touchdown receptions.
Okay. But I mean, that's great. And I mean, that's very impressive.
So Sylvester Morris, the senior from New Orleans. And that's where I was born, New Orleans.
Nolans or New Orleans? Nolans. 1,000-yard reception.
Dillard University, and next thing you know, they had greatness. Inside handoff. Guessed it right. Yeah. Over the top of your head.
I'm sorry. I was. Say it again.
It's too late.
I was in deep thought. I'm sorry.
Thinking of Sylvester Morris in that career, probably.
Yeah.
Right? Takes the ball down to the 25-yard line. Picks up about 5 yards on that carry. It'll be 2nd down. 6:20, clock still rolling.
How does Alcorn defense come up with a big play? Well, first of all,
they've got to stop right. Here's Washington. Receiver makes the catch. Is that guy again with another reception? No, they continue to just go up and down. Courtney Harris now makes the catch.
What they can't do, what the Braves can't do, is just rush three people. They rush 3 down linemen and expect to put some pressure. Mark Washington has all day to throw the ball. George, heck, you could do this.
And Washington completing almost 50% of his passes coming in. Picks up 23 yards on that pass play to Courtney Harris, the senior from Indianapolis. 1st and goal. Destry right. Up and over. Still waiting for a signal. We're getting plenty of signals from the Tigers, but they don't count. And he's going to be shy of a touchdown.
From our angle, it looked like he was in. triangle. Looked like he had got enough height. And look at this right here. Now, the key is whether the ball is over, because his body does end up over. But I'm not sure if the ball ended up over. Carrying the ball a little low.
This time, Washington decides to hold on to the football, tries the quarterback sneak on 2nd and goal. And he doesn't make it. So the Braves are picking things up here defensively. This would be a big stop for them if they can keep them from getting in.
Because if you stop them on downs here, they may not be able to kick the field goal.
3rd and goal. What are you thinking? Another quarterback sneak, or are they giving it to the best back in the slot? Fumble!
And the Braves defense gets the big play I was talking about. A miscue on the snap.
And Clifford Thomas picks up the loose ball. But we have a flag on the field at the 11-yard line.
That's in the backfield at Jackson State. Yep.
Big stop for the Braves right there.
Huge. Miscue. Mark Washington tried to take off without the football. A lot of times what happens in those situations, the center is trying to snap the ball and get off and make his block as well.
So now let's take a look at our McDonald's trivia question for the day. What player holds the NCAA all-time record for offensive yardage? I'll let you think about that. We'll have the answer for you when we come back on the other side of this commercial break. By McDonald's, the irresistible taste that makes you say, did somebody say McDonald's? What player holds the NCAA all-time record for offensive yardage? Charles?
Well, it's not fair. It's Steve McNair. It's not fair because you had already guessed it, and I didn't want to act like I didn't know it.
Well, McNair is the answer. The starting quarterback for the Tennessee Titans.
Oh, man.
Who was at Alcorn State. Today's trivia question was brought to you by McDonald's, the irresistible taste that makes you say, did somebody say McDonald's? And now let's take a look at how the Braves got the football back.
And see, it looked as though Mark Washington tried to take off, backing up out of center without having the ball completely in his hands. And that can happen. I mean, you don't want it to happen when you're on the 1-yard line or the 1-inch line, but
now, Alcorn State has had trouble running the football in this game. Let's see if they can get themselves out of this deep territory. Tommy Head comes up and lowers the boom on Rodney Thomas.
You sure that was Tommy Head?
Yeah, I'm getting to know number 31 pretty well right now.
Yeah. He hurt himself there a little bit.
He's a linebacker. And just keep going.
You play with pain. That's right.
Ball's out at the 5-yard line. Thomas picked up 2 yards on the carry, makes it 2nd down and 8. They really have to run this football. You don't think they're going to go back there and pass it too much in the back in their own end zone, do you?
Well, yeah.
2 receivers on either side. And this time they give it to Chris McGee. And McGee picks up yet another 5 yards on that carry. So with the ball marked at the 10-yard line, it'll be 3rd down, and a long 2, maybe 3.
And this was a trap play right there, and that's how he got freed up right there. Eric Chandler was blocked, and Tommy Head, of course, around the tackle. But this is the trap. We haven't seen them run the trap play. And look at, oh, my goodness there. You see that? See that great blocking right there by Lamar Tate on Eric Chandler? Lamar Tate was the trapper running the trap on that play.
Boy, they tried to run the football this time for a first, and Edward Reese says, hey, Charles, there's another linebacker down here who can also make tackles.
Hey, make a tackle. We'll call your name.
But he stops the ball carrier short of a 1st down. Reese is the 2nd leading tackler on this team.
And a lot of his tackles are for losses as well. He has 13 for losses, 2 sacks, and 1 interception. And they're going to try to punt it from their own end zone. This could be an adventure.
Raston has already punted the ball 8 yards on 1 attempt. This one, not a good punt either. It's going to roll out of bounds at about the 36-yard line. So not that big of an effort punt-wise. Only 25 yards that one goes. And Jackson State once again with good field position with another 3 minutes left. provided by the Crown Plaza Downtown Jackson Hotel. Before your next meeting, put the Crown Plaza Downtown Jackson on your agenda. With over 15 meeting rooms, executive boardrooms, and the largest ballroom in Jackson, the professional planning and catering staff will assist you every step of the way with state-of-the-art services that will exceed your expectations. For your reservations, call the Crown Plaza at 601-969-5100. 2:55 left here in the first half. Jackson State has the 18-0 lead and the football at the 36-yard line. And now T.C. Taylor is checked into the ball game, the other quarterback, and his forte is running the football as he gets it inside the 15-yard line. T.C. ran for 50 yards last week. The kid is unbelievable because he's tall and still has this ability to be extremely elusive.
And he runs the option play right here, and he already decides to keep the ball well into the backfield. He decided, no, I'm holding on to this football. 6'4", 218-pound sophomore. Looked like he's about 300 pounds. He had trouble, people had trouble taking him down.
22-yard carry.
Very impressive. Very impressive.
Takes it inside the 15-yard line to the 14. Keep in mind, Mark Washington separated his shoulder a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
Not the throwing shoulder, but the other shoulder. And as we talked about, they've got Southern and a couple of, well, we don't want to say that because Grambling State will get the win. But they're going already, Jackson State that is, to the championship game. You don't want to lose Mark Washington. And T.C. Taylor is a very adequate backup. Inside handoff, high fake, touchdown, big boy. Damian Ducksworth, that was a nice fake.
Very nice fake. They faked the pitch and then ran a quick trap off the guard. And Damian Ducksworth got a head of steam going, and I don't know if anybody really wanted to get in his way once he got that body moving forward. So it's T.C. Taylor fakes the pitch right there. Look at wide open. Wide open. You could have ran a Mack truck through there.
Ducksworth with his third rushing touchdown of the season. And now Brian Reynolds will come in and try it again. He missed his only other opportunity for the extra point. This one's blocked. Can anyone kick out here?
Come on, now this is getting a tad bit sloppy. Special teams is very important. It's a very important aspect of the football game. And I'm surprised that not enough interest is taken in the kicking. And watch the block here. This ball really, it looked like it actually did get up pretty high, but no one was in there to block Sebastian Moore. Goodness, Sebastian Moore is only 6 feet tall. So I don't know if that ball got enough height on it. Brian Reynolds was doing pretty good coming into the game. He was 8 of 11. His longest field goal was 41 yards. You know, I mean, that's pretty decent.
And yet,
we've seen an adventure.
Well, he's now 37 of 44 on extra point attempts kicking-wise as you look at your scoring drive right there. 14-yard touchdown by Damian Ducksworth.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, just on field goals, he's attempted 11 going into today. He's attempted 2. They've attempted 2 more, I think, today. But 8 of 11, and his longest was 41 yards. That's not bad. Coach Hughes, I know you're not too pleased. Yeah, you're scoring touchdowns, but, you know, these are the little things that you got to take care of, especially when you're going into the championship game.
Absolutely. So the Braves going to try to put some points on the board before this first half is over. Clifford Perry takes the ball at the 7-yard line. Looking for a seam up the middle. And check that. Albert Jones actually made the return on that one as he takes it out by the 25-yard line, where the Braves will take it 1st and 10.
And guess who made the tackle? Tommy Head. Playing special teams, too. That's a guy that wants to win. That's a guy that will do whatever it takes to help his team win. And look at the total yards. And That would explain the score. 24-zip.
Well, do you expect to see the Braves try to throw this football downfield? No, they're going to keep it on the ground, give it to Thomas. Thomas is dragged down by Eric Chandler. Tackle for a loss.
Eric Chandler's still mad about getting trapped earlier.
Nice size for Eric at 6'6", 285 pounds. He's the senior.
When I was in college, a senior, I was 6'6", 235.
They're getting bigger and bigger every year, Charles.
235. This man, but you know what? I had that quickness. See, you know, you could elude folks. I wasn't trying to be confrontational too much.
Loss of 4 for Thomas. 2nd down and 14. Back to pass 4. Pass is caught. And boy, hello.
Crowd got excited. You know, Johnson just came up and made a nice tackle. The right corner.
Marco Walder with the catch. That's 50 receptions now for Walder on the season.
It was oohing and on about this tackle right here. Took out a hip.
3rd down and 5. Pass is complete to Gilmore. And a late hit right there. You don't have to call a timeout. Well, they're going to stop the clock, I would assume, on the penalty.
Yes, they will.
Pass was complete to Gilmore over the middle, who got inside Tigers territory, and they'll probably tack on some more yards after that.
That was the 2nd best pass from Damian Ford as we listen to the call there. No, we're not going to listen to the call.
Nah, they're charging that penalty against the Braves. After a 23-yard pickup by Gilmore, now they're pointing at Alcorn State's direction. And the late hit will be charged to the Braves. Wow. Again, a lot of youth out there on the field for Alcorn State.
Question foul against the offense.
He didn't seem too sure of himself there.
So that nullifies the big play.
They got to get this in little chunks. If they can get a score before halftime, they're right back in this game.
1st and 10, 37-yard line. Ford is still on his feet. Ford tried to make a move and
see,
finally tripped up.
You want to get out of bounds, or you want to throw the ball away and stop the clock.
You don't want that clock to still roll. 31 seconds and counting.
If they could score, now watch right here. Everyone's covered. Pulls the ball down. Now you got to be looking to the sideline right now. Get to the sideline and stop the clock. It's called clock management. You got to manage that clock when you're trying to go down in the 2-minute offense and score. If they score and could kick an extra point, it would be 24-7, and they're in this game. I mean, they really are. I mean, you got to, at least that's the way you got to approach it. You can't think it's over. You can't go in the locker room and tell your kids, well, you want to go home now? You know. I mean, there's still a chance.
We can always go to Vicksburg.
Yeah, right. I've seen crazier things happen in football games. One team thinks they got the game underhand. They go in at halftime. I hated halftime because what happens is you sit and you relax.
Right.
All the sweat and all the emotion sits and gets flat. It's a whole, you got to turn it on again. You got to pick up where you left off. Right. A lot of times emotionally, people can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why the first few minutes after the second half is the most crucial. You can get scored on real quick because the other team is still in the locker room mentally.
Long yard here for a 1st down. 2nd down. Ford back to pass. Good pressure. He eludes it over the middle. Pass was intended for Walder, and it was a little too high.
Yeah, just a little. Just a little. Seems like they're trying to throw. They only have a few pass patterns that I'm seeing, and it seems like they're going to the same ones over and over again.
Well, you don't want to make it too complicated when you tell folks we're a young team and we're rebuilding.
Right.
You don't want to make it too complicated, I would assume.
Yeah, but at this level, you've got to, I mean, you can tax your athletes a little bit. They're pretty smart nowadays, so.
3rd down and 1. Ford finds his receiver. Walder makes the catch.
That's a good play. You got to get out of bounds, though.
Well, what they'll do is they'll stop the clock to move the sticks. 15 seconds left. So
excuse me, you're right.
So, but they've got to be at the line of scrimmage as soon as they set that football down. Like, doesn't mean that it's gonna, they've got that much time. Looks like we got a timeout.
No, they actually called a timeout.
Yep.
Instead of using the officials' stoppage of the timeout to move the chain.
So now you're looking at 15 seconds, and you haven't seen them able to complete that pass over the middle. What are you thinking? Maybe if we saw a great play to Gilmore down the sideline, coming back the other way earlier in the game. Maybe you're going down the sideline.
You don't want to throw the ball to the middle of the field unless it's in the end zone. You don't want to do that. Look at as you see the first downs. It's double for Jackson State.
So 15 seconds are left here in the first half. We'll see if Alcorn State can make something happen after this. All right, time running out. Lobs one deep. Ball is tipped up in the air, and kick drills don't come up with an interception. Back defensively was Rashard Anderson. Getting help from Brian Darden defensively on that pass play.
And what has to happen here, there's nothing wrong with this route. There's nothing wrong with this receiver until the ball is in the air and he has an opportunity, Gilmore does, to come back and get the ball. He waited and just played jump ball. He should have come back a little bit. If he'd have taken another step backwards, he'd have caught that and been able to step out of bounds.
8 seconds.
You got to throw it to the end zone. You got to throw it to the end zone on this play. You got to go for the end zone.
And he's lobbing that one in that direction. Ball is high in the air and almost intercepted. Brian Darden has been all over the place. He has really got a good nose for the football in this one. Now, as we come to the end of the first half, the Tigers of Jackson State leading the Braves of Alcorn State 24-0. Charles and I will be back to talk about the first half after this. Southwest Airlines, with fares so low, you have the freedom to go places. 24-0 is the lead right now for Jackson State. George Johnson along with Charles Mann. I tell you, it seems like the Tigers have everything going well for them. They've almost amassed 300 total yards in the first half. Why is everything going so well?
One man, Mark Washington, the quarterback for Jackson State, is almost flawless. He's done everything right other than one miscue that caused a would-be touchdown to be nullified.
When you take a look at the first half highlights, and you will see just how Mark Washington was able to get it done.
And he gets it done in the air right away. He goes to Sylvester Morris for this 13-yard touchdown strike, and they were on their way. Once again, he hits them again on this 25-yard nice pass, and Sylvester Morris has 4 receptions, 67 yards, and 2 TDs. Then he goes to his big play guy, Daniel Guy, for the 61-yard strike, and watch the blocking of Leroy Fields there, helping him into the end zone. Well, we've done it in the air. Now let's go to the ground, and this is Damian Ducksworth, 14-yarder that puts the game to 24-0 as it stands right now.
And the one guy we haven't seen, Destry Wright, has 82 yards carrying the football. We'll have more of our Southwest Airlines halftime report right after this. Halftime report, George Johnson along with Charles Mann. We talked a lot about how Jackson State is able to make things happen for themselves. How about Alcorn State? What are they going to do here in the second half to get back in the game?
They got to play a little bit more defense, and what I mean by that is they have to come after people. You can't rush with just 3 players and expect to put some pressure on Mark Washington, but they've got to disrupt the flow of Jackson State's offense.
Let's take a look at the numbers, the Southwest Airlines first half stats, and you take a look at them first downs. Boy, nowhere near the same.
First downs, and then the big one that jumps out is rushing yards, 113 to 12. That's ridiculous. You can't win like that.
Well, hopefully the Braves can turn things around here in the second half and get back in this football game. Today's halftime report has been brought to you by Southwest Airlines. With fares so low, you have the freedom to go places. Charles and I will have more from the second half right after here. State, who had won the toss at the beginning of the ball game and elected to receive, will now pick the football off. And they tried a little onside kick right there.
I don't know if they actually tried an onside.
The unintentional.
Intentional onside kick, yes. Very interesting. It's been an adventure in kicking.
And what happens is it allows Jackson State
to get
great field position.
That's right. You're so right.
Take a look at Destry Wright looking for 76 yards. Become the all-time leading rusher.
And don't. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, he's still looking to also establish the single season record, which he broke last year, and he's going to break his own record.
Yeah. I don't think that one's as important as the all-time in Jackson State history.
Right with the carry, picks up a couple yards.
You know, when you're beating a team the way they are, there's no reason why that ball should ever get up in the air. They should be running it every, as soon as I say that.
2nd and 8. Pass is complete for a couple of yards. Destry Wright makes the catch. Picks up another 3. That'll make it 3rd down and 5. As Charles said, first half, Washington almost flawless. 9 of 10. Stats came out 180 yards. His longest, the 61-yard touchdown pass to Daniel Guy. He has 3 touchdown passes here after one half of play. And again, in the air, and again, finding a receiver. And Morris makes the catch for 1st down yardage.
I guess what Coach Hughes is saying is, no, we're going to pour it on. We're going to give Southern or Grambling or whoever we're going to end up facing a good look at our arsenal and what we're capable of doing.
That's Morris's 5th catch of the ball game. 1st and 10. Ball is marked just shy of 33. It's time to give the right big hole for Destry Wright. He's going to pick up another 1st down as he takes it down close to the 15-yard line.
That was a great play. With that, all it is a draw, but you're throwing the ball so much that it really sets up the draw. And this is nice little play action by Mark Washington, really setting it up and making it look like it was going to be a pass.
Wright picks up substantial gain on that one and makes it now 1st and 10 as they now will tackle on the yards.
Personal foul against the defense. After distance to the goal. Automatic 1st down.
Well, if you're the head coach, you can't stand when those kind of dead ball fouls after the play, kicking and piling on. And, I mean, you can see Coach Thomas is just upset. He's livid about,
In the first half,
have a chance.
Alcorn State had 4 penalties for 42 yards. This one really hurts. The ball's inside the 10. 1st and goal for the Tigers, and they go inside to Destry Wright, and he runs into a host of Braves defensive players. That front line of Guy Gordon and Cleveland Carr, Julius Gardner, and Todd McDaniel have been active. But you've got to credit this offensive line of Jackson State. They have opened up some holes. They have allowed Mark some good protection. Rico Elliott, Frank Wynn, Jeremiah Todd, Kevin Thomas, and Jason Ensminger. 2nd down and goal, and again, that front getting up there.
That was a great play by Guy Gordon, not letting that option play work at all. And then Clifford Thomas. Watch Guy Gordon come up and force the quarterback with great penetration, forces the quarterback to hold onto the ball.
So that time the offensive line failed Mr. Wright, and it's 3rd down and goal. Ball is marked just shy of the 10-yard line.
Guy Gordon, you see, with 40 tackles on the season.
Double tight end set, little movement on the right side of that offensive line.
Mark Washington, I tell you, he's had a heck of a day. done all the right things.
Legal procedure now called against the Tigers, so they move it back. 3rd and goal, and they're going to have to make about 15 yards on this play for the touchdown. Look at Coach Hughes, Jackson State, 25 years that he spent with the same university.
You said he came to the university when Walter Payton
was a freshman. Absolutely. This time they throw the quick pass to Courtney Harris. Harris! Oh my, what an effort!
He did that all on his own.
Wow. Just when you think you have it all figured out by trying to stop Wright, trying to stop Morris, trying to stop Daniel Guy, up pops Courtney Harris.
And this is just a quick little dump out to the wide receiver and let him make a play. Puts his head down and basically runs through the block of the tackle of Malcolm Reed.
And Reed has done a good job defensively in this ball game. Been everywhere.
Didn't look like Reed wanted any of that one. And it's not like Courtney Harris is that big. 5'9", 170 senior.
Reynolds kick. Point after.
That one split the upright.
Brian Reynolds converts the point after. And Jackson State is in control in this one. 31-0. 11:41 left here in the 3rd quarter.
Quick look at the touchdown by Courtney Harris and the extra effort it took to get into the end zone. And this is just a quick pass. You see this in the NFL a lot with the big wide receivers and let them run after the catch. Great want to by Courtney Harris.
And the thing, you talk about, we see that a lot, but I mean on 3rd and goal at the 15, I mean.
You wouldn't have expected that. And as you look around the field right there, all of Alcorn's defenders were tied up with people. So it wasn't a lot of people trying to get over to the ball. Don't want to blame it all on Malcolm Reed, but normally you have 3 or 4 hats on the football. He was the only one there.
Kickoff is taken by Albert Jones. Good coverage by the team. Special teams of Jackson State. Jones will bring the ball out to about the 25-yard line. 7 plays, 52 yards, 15-yard touchdown catch and run by Courtney Harris. And that's why it's 31-0 right now, Jackson State.
Well, they are on top of their game right now, and you got a feel for Alcorn. You want to at least see them put something together and get a score at least. No one wants to be shut out.
The Braves began the season winning 3 of their first 5 games, but have lost 4 straight. That pass is batted in the air and almost intercepted. Edward Reese almost came up with that tip pass for the interception.
There was a lot of people. Look at Andre Reed on the end here. You can't really see him, number 51. He's coming into the picture. Got 11 sacks on the year. These guys haven't gotten to the quarterback today, so they're all, you're trying to pad those stats at the end. This is the last regular season game. This is when the stats go away, so you're trying to get to the quarterback.
And Andre Reed, Jason Marshall, and Eric Chandler all on the front, all have 11 sacks, so they'll probably have a contest to see who comes up with the most.
And no one's recorded one today, so, yeah.
That dump-off pass intended for Nicky Davis, but the pressure was there once again.
And this is the fun. This is the part of the game where you like it. As a defender, your offense has done well. They've kept you fresh. They've kept you off the field. Now you can pin your ears back and go after the quarterback. And, you're probably going to see a couple of sacks now because that's all they have on their mind.
Yeah.
This will be a good time to run the football if you're Alcorn.
Little delay handoff maybe, find the wide open ball in the middle. 3rd down and 10. Ford, pressure, eludes it. Still looking downfield, now he's going to hold on to the football and he's going to be short of a 1st down.
He really didn't want to run that. He is a pocket quarterback. He does not run the football. I'm surprised we haven't seen Marcus Taylor come in, who they say is a lot more athletic and can give you some exciting play.
Kenyon Smith came up and made the stop. So now it's 4th down and 5, punting situation.
We've had some adventure on this punting team.
Quentin Raskin gonna punt it.
That wasn't bad. You're going to get a little bounce there, a little roll.
Get a lot
finally.
of roll. It's going to roll inside the 20-yard line at Jackson State, where it's down at the 18. Time now for our Circuit City connection. And why not be a pass
and why
from
not,
Washington?
And why not be to Sylvester Morris, who's already had 2 touchdown passes on the day. This will be one of his touchdown catches.
And Morris, of course, becomes the all-time leading receiver in Jackson State history today. And here's our Circuit City connection.
Mark Washington drops back, looks at only one person, the wide open Sylvester Morris in the back of the end zone for a touchdown.
Today's connection has been brought to you by Circuit City. Answers in every department, low prices all over the store. As you get a good look at Sylvester Morris. First and 10 for Jackson State at the 18-yard line. Destry takes the handoff.
Destry is over the century mark. He has 22 carries, or now 23 carries for about 106 or 7 yards, about 106 yards. He needs 158 yards to be the all-time rusher, and he is about 40 some odd yards away.
Second down and 8. He's the lone setback behind Washington and makes a good block that time. And he gets it to Morris. Morris gets away from one tackler. And finally, he's brought down.
See,
Terrence Cormier.
See, working with you has helped. You see things that you wouldn't normally see. I mean, the good effort by Dexter Wright making that
great block
to secure that. Now, all will see, or most of the people will see, is Sylvester Morris making a great catch. Mark Washington making a great throw. But now you're starting to notice things. That's good.
19 yards on that play. I credit it all to you. You want me to keep my eye on interior line play. I thought it was all about receivers and backs until I started working with you. First and 10. Ball is at the 39, and we've got a penalty.
And it looks as though that is offsides on Alcorn. See what the referees have to say about this.
Well, Destry Wright. The penalty is charged to Jackson State. Destry Wright with 106 yards rushing. Morris with 103 yards receiving.
and Mark Washington with incredible numbers. That is how they won. He's 14 for 13. He's only missed one pass. Those three have been the performers week in and week out for this Jackson State team. It's the reason why they're 8-2, looking at going 9-2 on the season.
First and 15. Washington. Good blocking. He slips and falls after picking up about 2 yards on the play. Well, the Circuit City Connection is brought to you by Circuit City. Answers in every department, low prices all over the store. We'll be right back after this. Charles Mann, second down and 12 for Jackson State. In the air, and why not? It's been working, although we have a fumble. Pass was complete to Daniel Guy, and he dropped the football.
That's what this defense needed. The Braves defense needed a couple of breaks. They needed to stop the surge of Jackson State, and what better way to do it than cause a turnover? Mark Washington, though, has just been excellent. Only one incompleted pass all day today. Daniel Guy just doesn't take care of the football. I don't believe he realized when he got past the first defender that he was still trying to tackle him. Didn't put the ball away.
Jesse Kilgore came up and made the tackle, stripped it loose, and Malcolm Reed picked it up. Fumble recovered. And gives the Braves first and 10 at the 42-yard line. This time they hand the ball off up the middle to McGee, and Chris picks up a couple of yards, makes it second down and 7. Boy, look at Ed Halls. 6'3", 290, the senior from Memphis. In the middle there. Second down and 7. Two receivers split to either side of Damian Ford. He goes back to pass this time. Dumps it off to McGee. And McGee just looking for a Tiger to run over. And
is this somebody?
Elgin Andrews.
You're right. This is a little swing pass. This normally picks up 5 or 6 yards, and great finish at the end there, trying to hurt somebody.
When you're looking at Kenny Bryant,
he's trying to hurt somebody.
180 pounds. And McGee, who you said is nowhere near 215.
No, he sure isn't.
And he sees that little corner out there. He says, let's do this.
He probably did say that.
Third down, and let's make it 4. Ford back to pass. Short little, oh, they couldn't be caught. Walter had it in and out of his hands.
Marco tried to beat up the ball instead of just accepting it into your hands, you know?
Make the catch. The junior from Dallas, Texas.
I've been looking at these jerseys all day of the Braves, and I got to ask you, they're laundry person. I mean, what's the deal here?
A little wrinkled, huh?
Yeah, you know, I've been watching those all day, and I said, maybe it's my eyes. Because, see, if you're a big guy, like this gentleman right here, he has no wrinkles in his uniform.
And this is Carlos Tapo now punting. He's a linebacker.
Oh!
And look at this punt.
Much better.
And that's going to fall inside the 5-yard line. You got to down it at the 5. And the ball is finally down at the 5-yard line, where Jackson State takes over 1st and 10. 6:47 left here in the 3rd. 1st and 10 for Jackson State. George Johnson along with Charles Mann. Another Southwest Airlines Black College Football Classic here in Jackson, Mississippi. Destiny Wright with the handoff up the middle, and nothing doing this time. The Braves don't give him a whole lot of room. Lewis Green is the linebacker who came up and made the first touch.
They need to make sure that they don't get stagnant on their rushing attack and let Destry not have an opportunity at this all-time leading rusher mark. He's so close. He only needs 52 yards.
I don't know. I'm ready to say he's going to get it.
Well, okay. It is the 3rd quarter still. Plenty enough time.
This time they try that play that got them the touchdown in the first half, that fake pitch and then the handoff inside to Ducksworth, and they lose a yard on the play.
This is where you don't want your team offensively to get conservative.
Jackson State for the season has converted 40%.
Which is unheard
of their 3rd down opportunities. They are 70% in this ball game.
That is, I mean, the 70 is crazy, but over the season, 40%. I mean, that's incredible.
3rd down and 12. This time they fake the pitch and throw it downfield. Sylvester Morris! How much more do you have in your bag of tricks?
That is incredible. What a fantastic throw, catch, run, scheme,
96-yard touchdown reception for Sylvester Morris. And what a throw by Washington.
It looked like he led him too much, but it was just where he reached out, didn't have to break stride. Oh, my goodness. Now, I've seen a lot of times where this play happens like this. And watch the blocking. Look at the offensive line. Look at everybody has a man. They only had 2 people go out on the pass pattern, so it wasn't like you didn't know what was coming. And now they're 8 for 11 on 3rd down conversions.
Kenny Washington was the defensive back who was standing by and watching him, and probably was as entertained as we were. And he should have been making the play as Reynolds converts the point after, and it's 38-0.
Sylvester Morris has had an awesome game. I'm sure he loves playing Alcorn.
Coming
had some impressive numbers.
Coming into the game, I was looking at the numbers, and I said 4 receptions to become the all-time leading receiver. He'll get that. He needs 5 touchdown catches to become the all-time leader in that category. And I said, well, there's no way he's going to get that in this game. And now it looks as if he's well on his way to maybe becoming the all-time leader in that category.
He is
most
close.
career touchdown receptions.
It's amazing. He's had an exceptional game.
Last week, he had 10 catches for 166 yards. Last year, he caught 17 touchdown passes.
Well, if Destry Wright gets to the 158 yards rushing and ends up being the all-time leading rusher, you know, it's going to be overshadowed by what Sylvester Morris and Mark Washington have been able to do today.
Back deep to receive this kickoff is Alcorn Jones, and now can we say that
was Leroy Fields. Wide receiver going down there, knocking the snot out of somebody. I think he might have knocked it out of himself. Look at him like, oh, okay. I think I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay.
Say hi, Mr. Albert Jones.
Oh, my God.
Elgin Andrews, number 50, also involved in that one. So now the Braves are at the 24-yard line. 5 minutes left here in the third quarter. You figure right now they're thinking, hey, let's just get some first downs. Let's get a drive. Let's hold on to this football.
Let's get some points. Let's get some points. Give me something.
Well, this time they dump it off to Chris McGee. McGee is going to be forced out of bounds by Anderson.
And
it looks like he picks up 11 yards on the play.
Rashard Anderson is a definite NFL prospect, and you've got to be able to tackle in the NFL. There's a lot of corners in the NFL right now that don't necessarily do a good job tackling. So if you're a big corner like he is, 6'3", 195, man, there's room for you in the NFL. You know, Deion Sanders' big negative against him is he doesn't want to tackle anybody.
Well, Rashard Anderson has already been invited to the Senior Bowl, and then he got an invitation to the Hula Bowl.
And the Blue-Gray, I believe, also.
He's going to be hanging out with the big boys come postseason time. Passes.
Well, now that we talk about him, he just got a flag for a personal foul. You got there a little early. It's okay, Rashard. Got there a tad early. You heard us talking about you. He was believing the hype.
Pass was intended for Ronald Gilmore, and Rashard's been waiting for some action all game. They don't throw his way.
Look at his technique. It's excellent. Excellent technique. Just got his hands. He got on his back a little early. I like his technique, though. Big guy, 6'3". See, all the receivers now that are coming up, the Michael Westbrooks on the Redskins and guys like
how about Moss? How about Randy Moss?
Yeah, thank you. So you need big corners now.
That's going to be an offside as both defensive ends. We talked about the fact that Andre Reed and Eric Chandler are looking to see who's going to come out with the most sacks, and they both took off on that one. I'm going to get here.
On the play before, Andre Reed made a nice inside move, and the offensive lineman tackled him. Now, that would be called a hold, but it's only called a hold if you get caught. And he was not caught, so he got away with it.
Offside on the defense.
And you would know because there's been many times an offensive lineman told you, hey, I did not hold you there.
And I'm like, but you did. He said, well, I didn't get caught. I said, okay, I hear you. I take this foot when I come by you next time.
Offsides charge to Jackson State makes it 1st down and 5 now for the Braves. 2 receivers split to either side of Damian Ford. He hands it off up the middle, and the big guy, Chris McGee, picks up a 1st down.
And look at Andre Reed out there fighting now. He out there tussling with folks. He's getting a little mad.
Getting into it with Chad Slaughter, the offensive tackle.
Right up the gut right here. Hard running. And Tommy Head on the tackle.
And Head was being blocked at that point.
Hey.
That's the way you play, huh? McGee.
It's not a sin to be blocked. It's a sin to stay blocked.
Well, McGee's run the ball pretty well, number 20. He's averaging over 5 yards every carry, which leads the club average per rush.
The problem is they don't ever throw it. I mean, they don't ever run it.
Ford is looking downfield. This one looks like it's underthrown, and a good effort out there by Clifford Perry.
Now, Andre Reed and Eric Chandler switch sides, okay? You know what happens is when you're in a game, you're getting a lot of reps. You know they got to throw the football. You get some freedom sometimes, and they probably went on the sideline and talked and said, hey, man, let me work on your guy a little bit, you know. Chad Slaughter is killing me on the other side. Let me go over and see what Michael McGee's like. And, you know, so they switch sides, and now Andre Reed is starting to get a lot more pressure on the quarterback. He had a big hit on Damian Ford a minute ago.
Ford has completed 11 of 23 passes for 145 yards at this point. He's going to attempt his 24. Oh, on second down and 10. Oh, he overthrows his intended receiver.
I'm surprised he's getting up. He got sandwiched between two. He got Monty Gatlin and Tommy Head just cleaned his clock.
So what you're saying is now they're sending linebackers. Those are the two outside linebackers coming at that point.
There's no mystery that he's going to throw the football. So, you know, you start licking your chops a little bit and get excited.
And you put confidence in his secondary. A good secondary for Jackson State when you talk Anderson and Harold Wooten, who was the preseason SWAC Defensive Player of the Year, number 27.
Right.
Dard, number 9, played well to safety. And Kenny Bryant, they've done a good job watching him and allows you to blitz. Here we are on 3rd and 10, and Ford's pass is way out of bounds. Marco Walder was in the vicinity.
And now what happens is this is where your linemen, and I want to say this is where they really get paid, but they're not getting paid, hopefully. Look at the quarterback pressure over the last 3 plays. That was Andre Reed. This was sandwiched by Tommy Head, Monty Gatlin. And then here's some pressure that hurried him up to throw the ball out of bounds there.
Monty Gatlin has been coming pretty hard in this series as we've got a 4th and 10.
Then they can smell blood.
Well, they've converted on 45% of their 4th down opportunities this year, talking about Alcorn State. But this time, I don't think they're going to get it away.
Oh,
Mason Marshall.
There's his 12 sack, but he got some help, and so he probably is only going to get a half a sack for that.
But he's still going to look at Andre Reed and Chandler and say, I've got a half more than both of you guys.
That's right.
That's what counts. 3:17 left here. We'll be right back. 4th down opportunity. Jackson State has the ball at the 45-yard line of Alcorn State. Washington runs that option play, gives it off to Destry Wright. Wright picks up about 5 yards on the play.
I hope the offensive coordinator of Jackson State is over there, you know, with the exact numbers for Destry and keeping account of this so that he can make sure that Destry at least has a shot at the record.
Clock continues to roll. We approach 2.5 minutes left here in the 3rd quarter. 38-0. Jackson State in control and looking for more. Wright, good hole. Wright gets the 1st down.
He's doing it very quietly today. Like I said, if it wasn't for his quarterback and wide receiver, that's Washington I'm talking about, and Morris, you wouldn't, you know, you could give him something for having 124 yards rushing, but it's almost gone on unnoticed.
Fred Taylor was the first man to make the tackle, as we are now just 34 yards away from Wright becoming the all-time leading rusher in Jackson State history. Here he is. Nice stiff arm right there. Jawan Carter made the tackle, but Wright again picked up good yardage on the 1st down play.
You know, Walter Payton donned these uniforms.
But, you know, it's interesting because he's actually breaking the record established by Lewis Tillman, who went on and played with the New York Giants, who you hit, I would assume.
Yes, I did. A bunch. And here's a replay of that stiff arm and then lowering the shoulder. And
Lewis Tillman, good running back?
Yes, he was. Yeah, absolutely. Not as good as Walter Payton.
No, he was not.
In fact, I played against Walter Payton several times. I have a picture on my wall of me taking a knee from him. I got him down, but it didn't look too good. I started with taking a shoulder, Then I slithered down to the knee. Then he gave me a knee to the chest. Then I slithered down to the ankles. Then I was trying to tie his shoestrings up. I did tackle him, though. He was just so punishing. And at the time, my first year in the NFL, my first couple years in the NFL, I was, only 240 pounds or so. Very, very slight.
Look at the time Washington had, right? He didn't even really want to run the football.
No, he didn't.
He wanted to throw the football. He could have taken off long before he finally got dragged down, and he picks up enough for a first down, and yet he could have had a lot more on that play.
I think he was trying to buy his time and let the quarter run out.
Well, you mean he could have held on to the ball another 40 seconds?
He was trying. It looked like he was holding it all day there.
He picked up a first down, though, with the carry.
Give the ball to Destry Wright. Let the man get the record.
But now keep in mind, Sylvester Morris is also looking for 2 touchdown receptions. He becomes the all-time leader. This time they pass it to right. Look at the right. Point now. Get that block. Get that block. Get that block. Touchdown. Boy, this is a well-oiled machine right here.
And look, don't pick the man up if you can't carry him. You see the Chris Hammond trying to pick up Destry Wright and didn't have enough energy to lift him. He's the one making downfield blocks for Destry right here. Destry's telling him, get that guy right there. So Chris Hammond tries to hit him.
Oh, what a move right there. What a move as he shook Cremiel to get into the end zone. Got the block, made the shake move, and got the 6.
It was almost criminal what he did to Cremiel.
Wait, don't pay to say that. Reynolds with the point. Oh, hey. And now he's got a little Gary Premier action.
Always got to be some adventure on the special teams. I tell you what, that will pull your hair out.
So they get the 6 thanks to the touchdown catch by Destry Wright.
And it looks like we need Destry needs 26 yards to set the record, and you said Sylvester Morris needs 2 more touchdowns.
Right. Well, you know what? I want everybody to get their pencils out. Get your pencils out. Get your pencils out now.
Okay.
By the way, that was a 16-yard touchdown. Get your pencils out. Check your list. Time's running out. Want to make sure that you send in your entries the Southwest Airlines Black College Football Contest to 180 North Stetson Court, Suite 4350 in Chicago, Illinois 60601. Hope you got your pencils out. Write it all down.
I'm writing it right now.
You writing it right now? You got it.
180 North Stetson.
Unfortunately, you're not eligible.
Oh.
But it's good that you write it down. I like
doing what you told me to do. You said, yeah.
So I hope all those people out there had their pencils and papers and got what they needed to get from taking into this contest.
Brian Reynolds gets set to kick off. He's had quite an adventurous outing today.
This kick is going to go into the end zone.
Wow, okay.
And we love that.
And here's the miscue on the extra point right here. Ah, so that was on the holder. It had nothing to do with Brian Reynolds there. The holder didn't catch the ball cleanly, and so he knew he didn't have enough time to put it down. So as you said, he pulls a Garo Eupremium and tries to just...
So we need to leave the kicker alone and get on Kenny Page in that instance.
No, we could get on. Brian could take a little bit more.
He could take...
Oh. I'd sure love to see Alcorn put a drive together and get some points.
This time they hand it off up the middle, making the carry Chris McGee. We got a new quarterback in the ball game as Marcus Taylor comes in. And the third quarter comes to an end. So after 3 quarters of play, Jackson State is in the lead 44-0. And looking pretty good getting it done. Stats are brought to you by Nationwide Insurance, Financial Services on your side.
Oh, my goodness.
Look at that passing yardage.
Passing yardage and then rushing, 22 rushing yards. And then time of possession, of course, just correlates right with rushing yards.
And how about the third down conversion?
Which is unheard of.
When you go 9 of 12, I mean, It's going to be hard for anybody to beat you.
That means Alcorn's defense has not done their job.
So now Alcorn State will try to counter, get some points on the board, and they'll try to do so with Marcus Taylor at the quarterback spot. Taylor is the junior from Clarksdale, Mississippi, who's completed 49% of his passes coming in. His passing efficiency, in fact, is better than Damian Ford.
Yes. And he's the senior statesman. He's the one that they say, just put A-T-H on his name, the athlete. He's the athlete of the quarterbacks.
We're following Chris McGee's 8-yard run. Albert Jones picks up about 5 on that play and gets a first down for the Braves. Taylor, #1 in total offense on this club, bringing in 153 yards per game. And you just wonder if maybe they waited a little too long with him and could have brought him in a little earlier to try to...
I was surprised. I've been surprised the whole time, wondering whether that was going to happen or not.
Here's Taylor on first down. Pass is caught. Pass is dropped.
I don't think they're going to call that a catch. They shouldn't call that a catch.
And Taylor came flying in to look for it.
They should not call that a catch.
Looks like they're pointing the other way, though. Looks like they're pointing the other way. Tough break.
Very tough.
Tough break.
As you look at the replay here, I don't believe he had the ball long enough. Well, maybe he did. Maybe he did.
Anderson came up and made the stick.
Richard getting it done.
And so now it's 1st and 10 for Jackson State, who also comes out with a brand new quarterback. T.C. Taylor is in the ball game.
You really like him.
Oh, you know I
really
do.
like him.
Well, hey, first play in the first half, he takes the ball and scampers 30-plus yards. But this time he pitches it to Wright, and Wright getting to the outside. And finally brought down by Howard Clark.
Wright didn't want to go out of bounds. He wanted to stay in bounds and push the crowd forward and get a couple extra yards. Part of what makes an option work is the timing of the pitch by the quarterback. Lure the people to you and then pitch it out. And what stops an option on defense is everybody doing their responsibility. Somebody has to force the quarterback, and the corners and linebackers feather the play out to the halfback.
14:03 left here in our football game. Jackson State looking to add to their 44-point lead.
All right, Captain.
West Airlines Black College Football Classic here on BET. And Jackson State has been, well, classic.
Yeah,
the way in which they've been running this offense today. Defense has put up the stone wall, and the offense has just continued to put points on the board. And this guy right here, Destry Wright, continues to put numbers on the board in terms of rushing.
And he's focused. Look at him. You can see in there, he is focused. He's looking over the defense right now, trying to find where the opening, the holes are going to be, and the ball's coming to him.
He's 15 yards shy of becoming the all-time leading rusher. Jackson State history as he gets the ball again and carries the ball to yet another first down. You keep picking up 5 yards a clip, you're going to get there.
Yeah.
And there was some talk we had earlier on in this ball game, which it looked like Destry was maybe a little anxious and was cutting to the outside all the time. Now he's going back inside between the tackles and getting those yards.
That's where you pick up positive yards. He was a little anxious, you know. I mean, you know when you get into a game and you got to go 158 yards to get to what you want. I mean, yeah, I get a little anxious too. And
First and goal for the Tigers. They're at the 9-yard line.
And the record that Destry is going after is Lewis Tillman's record of 3,989 yards.
And there he picks up another 5 yards.
He could be at 4,000 yards rushing before the end of the day.
And that was the carry right there that has made him the all-time leading rusher.
Let's see if they acknowledge
State
it.
History.
Let's see if the team acknowledges it and He's looking to the sideline like, am I close? Am I close?
Because I sure would like to see Stacy Smith out here.
That would put him right now at 3,990 yards. He's 10 yards shy of 4,000 yards rushing in a college career.
Unbelievable.
And he's done it almost in 2 seasons, really.
And boy, he did a good job right there to elude a couple of would-be tacklers.
Yeah, you don't want to go backwards now. You don't want to get the lead, the record, and then give it back.
And it looks like they're blowing the whistle. You're wondering if they're going to stop this and let these folks know that they are looking at truly one of the great backs that has come through here at Jackson State.
33 carries it took him today. That's how you want your running back. You want him to run the ball. Most running backs don't get really in the groove until they've carried the ball 20, 25 times.
I hope you're not going into one of those running back by committee speeches on me again.
Yeah.
T.C. Taylor, Destry Wright, touchdown, Jackson State.
He wanted that. He wanted that. I hope they acknowledge the fact that he is now the all-time leading rusher in Jackson State history. The PA announcer should announce this.
Destry continuing to get it done. And he gets another touchdown to his resume.
And I don't think he knows I don't think they know it.
I don't know if they do.
So we've seen today, George, I got to stick with you more often, man. Two records. Sylvester Morris and now Destry Wright carving out their little mark in history.
And it makes you feel good when you see young men like this accomplish those kind of goals and still stay within the team aspect.
Right.
They don't seem like they're individuals. You know, you've got this team where they could go really to 3 or 4 different places.
Right.
And, you know, they've gone to Daniel Guy. They've gotten, you know, Leroy Fields involved. Courtney Harris scored a touchdown. Everybody getting involved, and still these guys are able to get their records. That's the way you like to see it, not coming in and every other play it's to those two.
It is a team game. Look at all that stuff on his back. I guess he's been hitting his back a few times, so they want to make sure he doesn't take any shots to his kidneys.
See, now I know you remember football with the leather helmets, you know, back in your day, but you know, it's a new football game now. We wear pads and things like that.
We? I know you didn't say we. Please don't go there.
I played a little Pop Warner with some pads.
Please don't go there.
I played a little Pop Warner with some pads.
Don't go there.
The pads were a little big, but I played a little Pop Warner. Point after is up, and it is good. And they've reached the half-century mark with 50 points on the board. 11:09 left. Still plenty of football here on BET. Southwest Airlines Capital City Classic, 6th annual Capital City Classic down here in the beautiful state of Mississippi. George Johnson along with Charles Mann and the rest of our BET crew doing a great job. We take a look at the playoff situation. Of course, this year the SWAC will have a championship game for the first time ever. Jackson State's already in. Who will they play? Well, if Southern defeats Grambling next week, Southern will advance. That game, of course, the Bayou Classic. If Grambling defeats Southern, there's a 3-way tie. Grambling advances on the tiebreaker. So Southern obviously needs to come up with that victory. Southern with only 1 loss on the season, that to Florida A&M. The Rattlers are something else. They are something else. They are putting points on the board against everybody they play. And Southern was cruising. Had a great win here on BET against Hampton University at the Circle City Classic in Indianapolis, and it looked like no one was going to beat them. We've got to see this Rattlers team somewhere down the road, but I got a feeling they'll find themselves in the Division I AA playoffs. Meanwhile, the champion of the SWAC championship game will move on to the Heritage Bowl. And another football kickoff into the end zone for Jackson State. And all of a sudden, Reynolds has found some power in that leg. And Alcorn State now will take over 1st and 10 on their 20-yard line. There you see number 3, wide receiver Marco Walder, leading receiver for this club. You know, he has caught a football now in 20 straight ball games. Yeah, he caught a football in every game last year, all 11 ball games. Continued the streak this year. He is rolling. Marco Walder, pretty good receiver and a junior from Dallas, Texas, so he'll be back again next year. Marcus Taylor now is your quarterback for the 2nd straight series. First and 10, good blocking, throwing downfield. Nice adjustment made by his wide receiver, Ronald Gilmore, to make the play.
And that's what you have to do. That's what you have to do. You adjust to the ball. The quarterback's job is to get the ball down there, but you have to make a play on the football. Ronald Gilmore did a good job of coming back and making a nice play on that. Here as we see the replay, running past, stopping, and coming back for the 32-yard reception.
Well, you talked about the fact that the Braves hadn't allowed a 300-yard passer. And that streak, I would assume, is officially over. They've gone 54 straight games without allowing someone to throw for 300 yards, but Mark Washington has 361. So
yeah, that was the trivia question I asked you earlier.
Yeah, I know, and I didn't answer it, so
now
I've been working on it.
We'll watch Marco Walder here trap this ball in between his legs. That was not a catch.
Looks like second down and 10 for Taylor. Again, pretty good blocking.
All day to throw the football.
And it's out of the hands of his intended receiver. That ball was just maybe too easy to catch. That pass was intended for Clifford Perry, and he couldn't hold on to it.
Watch Marcus Taylor. He just knows it's caught, and look, watch the reaction. Like, does somebody want to win? What's the deal?
You know, at this point right now, it all becomes about pride. I mean, you know, you're having problems out there. We got to do something. We've got to do something before this game is over.
You don't want to quit. You don't want to give up, and you want to get on the scoreboard.
This time, Walder makes the catch. And before he falls down, loses the football. And that's dangerous when you want to get the extra yards, you want to fight, but yet you want to hold on to that football first and foremost.
Right.
Walder got close to a first down, but I think he's going to be a yard shot.
So tell me, what's the deal with the uniforms, the crinkly uniforms? Did something happen in the laundry today, or? I'm serious now. I'm not trying to be funny.
I have no idea, but I'm sure they'll hear about it thanks to you running it in the ground today. First and 10. Falls at the 37.
I'm just curious.
I understand. 38 actually. Taylor had an open receiver and overthrew.
Actually, he had to throw the ball a little high to get it over the defender. That was actually not really an overthrown ball. He was trying to get the ball past the would-be defender, and he had to put some air underneath it. Actually, maybe then to throw it that high.
Yancey Wright was your intended.
And the linebacker was in the way. Maybe that did get off a little high there.
Second down and 10. Pass is complete. Boy, you gotta like the way Marcus Taylor has come out here and put that football around.
He's trying to compete. He's trying to compete. He's been watching the whole day on the sideline.
And Walder makes the catch. A little push off.
Nice push off
on Kenny Bryant.
It's not a push off unless they call it.
Bryant has had a lot of work come his way, and that happens when you have a guy like Rashard Anderson on the other side.
Absolutely.
You don't want to go after Anderson, the future professional quarterback. So what you do is you pick on Kenny Bryant, but that makes him better down the road.
Absolutely.
First and 10, Taylor. That one, could I say that was overthrown?
No, that was a miscue. That was. Okay. I'm not trying to defend. It was a miscue between the receiver, and you'll see right there, you see Marcus Taylor talking to him like, hey, what did I call? Or what did you hear me call? Because obviously it was not what I thought I called.
Taylor has pretty nice motion.
Numbers,
this is a guy, this is a pitcher also with the Braves baseball team.
Right.
So when you get a guy who has that kind of motion and things of that nature playing in the spring, sometimes carries on into the fall.
They're coming after him on this one.
Second and 10 under pressure.
Oh, now that was overthrown. That one was overthrown, and he had a step on Rashard Anderson. If the ball could have been put down a little lower, he'd have caught that in stride and may have scored.
Gilmore was the intended receiver. So that makes it third down. 9.5 minutes left here. Jackson State in control and on their way to their 9th win of the season. Again, they bring everybody. Oh, yeah, McGee eludes one tackle. See ya! Touchdown, Chris McGee.
Brian Durden.
And look at it.
Brian Durden.
And he's over there, and look at Taylor. He's screaming at the Jackson State sideline. I don't know what he had to say, but boy, he wanted them to know, I'm in the ball game now. It would have been different.
That's a competitor. You want those kind of players out on the field. Brian Durden just completely missed the tackle. That would not have been a score. I'm glad they scored. It's nice to see them get something on the scoreboard instead of a goose egg. But Brian Durden comes flying up, and I guess he guessed wrong. Will they go for two?
One of the few times he's guessed wrong, because he's been all over the place.
He's been all over the place.
51-6. Taylor.
Jump
long
ball.
Pass. Boy, that was close to a penalty right there.
Once again, goes after Kenny Bryant. Not going over there against Rashard Anderson.
So with 9:27 left here in our football game, Alcorn State gets on the board with 6. At the Southwest Airlines Capital City Classic, 6th annual here at Veterans Memorial Stadium, Jackson, Mississippi.
I'm amazed at all the people that have stayed. When you have a blowout like this, a lot of times folks pile out of there.
And a huge mistake by Albert Jones on the kickoff. And because of it, he was popped. Yes, he did pay. Joe Rush coming up to make the play.
Joe was a little excited about that. All right, he tries to catch the ball. And he tries to catch the ball. And then he knows they're coming, so he's looking up. And smack.
I got it. So let's see now if Marcus Taylor can get past all this hoopla and get his football team back in the end zone. He's already put them in there once. This pass intended for Walder is short.
The reason why that ball was short, he hit the arm or the shoulder of a defensive lineman coming to try to make the tackle on him. So he didn't get to follow all the way through with this pass there.
So Alcorn State came into the game having lost 4 straight. Looks like they're going to drop to 1-3 in conference play. Taylor over the middle. Pass is complete from Yancey Wright. Wright picks up the first down as he is just shy of the 29-yard line. It'll still be 1st and 10. Clock still rolling. 1st down. Alcorn State. Taylor rolls out. Pass is complete, and the receiver was down before the tackle was even made.
Marco Walter has caught a few passes today. He's been very active. And you'll see Marcus Taylor rolling out a little bit to gain a little bit of time. And Walter going to his knees to make that catch.
And Vince Davis with the pop when he needs to.
Oh, my, look up. He had that ball. Gilmore had that ball until he finally came down. He had caught it in the air. What a great athletic move going over the top to try to make that play.
Cecil Forbes and Xavier Denson were back there defensively. But we've got a flag down there at the 35-yard line. And if it's in the secondary, it could be against, yes it is, against Jackson State. So the Braves will get a 1st down and move the ball into Tiger territory, where they will have 1st and 10 at the 40-yard line.
Participation on the defense. 15-yard penalty. 1st down.
I don't know how you put 12 guys out on the field and then somebody don't know it. Well, like, okay, I'm in the spot. No, I'm in the spot. No, I'm here. one of you get off the field.
But I'm not leaving. 1st and 10 balls officially at the 41-yard line. Looks like they're bringing the blitz again. Taylor reads it and dumps it off to Gilmore.
I tell you what, Marcus Taylor's done a good job of moving the ball down the field. Now, of course, it's at the end of the game, and yeah, maybe Jackson State's in a little bit of a prevent. I don't think they are. They seem to be playing the same style of defense. But he's done a good job of taking command of the offense. See Coach Hughes there relaxing. 52-point lead.
Out of the hands of his intended receiver, Clifford Perry. This is the second ball that Clifford has dropped today.
What? That was a touchdown.
There's what they're playing for. And you can see Jackson State, 4 straight years they've won this. Alcorn State won the first one. From then on, it's been all Jackson State. And here comes the blitz.
Oh, and Andre Reed gets his 12th sack, which would put him ahead of Jason Marshall, who only got a half earlier today.
Well, see, Eddie Hall's jumped in there. See, Ed's going to try to claim
that was a... I'm going to go out there and argue with him. That's all Andre Reed. Look at that effort. Great. Now get this. Now, I don't know who's bigger.
Oh, I don't know. He needed Ed Halls to make that
play. That's Andre Reed's sack. That's Andre Reed's 12th sack on the season.
That gives him 12 sacks. Eric Chandler has 11 sacks. And Jason Marshall
has 11
and a half. And Chandler's coming hard.
As a matter of fact, you're right. Jason Marshall had wrapped up Marcus Taylor right there, trying to get him down before he got rid of the ball. I'm telling you, that's the game within the game that a lot of people don't know that goes on.
The competition. It's healthy.
Oh, it's great. Dexter Manley and I competed every week. And we had a blast all the time when there were cutaways to the sideline. We're up there laughing and joking. We were never uptight. We never looked down. We never looked beaten. We're always talking about how we can make ourselves better. Hey, I'll meet you at the quarterback. You know, I'm talking to Dexter about look out for this. I mean, the camaraderie and the fun of competing is why we all play. Speaking of sacks, there we go again. Your boy TC holding on the ball a little bit too long.
And capitalizing.
You wonder.
It was John Staten. We haven't seen a lot of Staten. Staten we thought we'd see a lot earlier in the ball game, and he didn't really make a dent defensively.
You wonder why Jackson State is trying to throw the ball with a 52-point lead with under 3 minutes to go in the game.
By the way, that's Staten's 7th sack. He leads the club, but he's nowhere near those 3 guys on the other side of the football. Taylor says, hey, listen, I'm going to hold on to it. Let's go get a first down.
Hold that ball.
And he's still on his feet. Boy, he has an uncanny knack of eluding defenders and getting away from folks.
Reminds me of Randall Cunningham a little bit. Randall Cunningham was slithery like that.
And tall.
Yeah, I could have had at least 12 more sacks had I would have held on to Randall Cunningham all those years. I ended up with 89 sacks on my career, and I would have loved to get to the century mark, but Randall wouldn't let me hold on to him.
Taylor with 5 carries for 48 yards. As you can see, the clock continues to roll as we approach the 2-minute mark. This time they hand it off to the deep back, and that's Stacy Smith. Smith, the sophomore from Hollandale, Mississippi.
He's a little bitty guy. 5'10", 175 pounds, little scat back. Slight.
He's next in line, following in the footsteps of Destry Wright. And now they're giving the seniors an applause here. 22 seniors coming into today's ball game for Jackson State.
Where do they go from here?
Well, they still have some work left. They've got to play in that SWAC championship game. They want to go out on a high note. And if they win that, then obviously moving on to the Heritage Bowl. Now time for our AutoZone player of the game. And who do you think it is?
Let's see. Now, number 85. He has a name like a kitty cat.
Sylvester Morris. 8 receptions, 199 yards. Unbelievable.
And 3 touchdowns.
3 touchdowns. Also today became the all-time leading receiver in Jackson State history. So he just had himself a tremendous game. We saw Destry a couple of minutes ago, and he became the all-time leading rusher. It's easy to forget sometimes what the other guys do, but Morris has been outstanding, and he is our AutoZone player of the game. Black College Football Classic here on BET. It's the 6th annual Southwest Airlines Capital City Classic. Jackson State leads 58-6 with a minute 21 left. Here's Taylor.
And up 52 points.
And he's still throwing
the football. Oh, he's running the football.
Okay, he's going to run it. And he'll pick up maybe a yard. Time now again for our player of the game, and we said who it was. There he is, Sylvester Morris. Gotta be after putting 199 receiving yards on the board.
Incredible. 1,138 yards receiving this season.
Today's player of the game has been brought to you by AutoZone. More than 2,700 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. 3rd down for Taylor. This time gets it to Story. Lawrence gets inside the 20 and drops the football. It looks like Julius Gardner picked it up, and wouldn't it be fitting for the big guy to get the football, considering he's been working so hard out there all game long?
Well, Jason Inseminger took it. An offensive lineman love to get their hands on the football.
Today's Black College Football Classic has been brought to you by Southwest Airlines. The fare so low, you have the freedom to go places. And by AutoZone. With more than 2,700 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. And by McDonald's, the irresistible taste that makes you say, did somebody say McDonald's? And by Nationwide, insurance, financial services, on your side. We've come to the end of the football game. Jackson State wins this one big, 58-6. Your impressions of the Tigers?
I'm very impressed. We did their game, the 2nd game of the season. They played Tennessee State, and they did not look as smooth as they look today. They have 3 great athletes on their team, coupled with a lot of hard-working young men, and I think this team is, Coach Hughes has done an excellent job of coaching.
So that'll do it. But once again, Jackson State knocks off Alcorn State 58-6. Keep in mind, our next game is going to be a doozy. It'll be the first ever SWAC championship. And Robert Hughes' club is already assured of being in there. They're the representatives of the Eastern Division. They await the winner of the Western Division. And the victor of that moves on to the Heritage Bowl to play the champion from the Eastern Athletic Conference. For Charles Mann, this is George Johnson saying once again, thanks for joining us. The Tigers win this win and win it big, 58-6. Good night, everybody.
When I was a kid,
And so what happens, you have your money to put the puzzle together that he gave you, but now you pick up somebody else's puzzle. It just leads to frustration and complication, because you wasn't supposed to be putting that puzzle together in the first place. Wonder how many of you in here are working on